Hi there, this is Norm Allen with you from Washington, D.C. For the next few minutes, we'd like to share some pictures of some of the most beautiful, iconic buildings in American history from one of the most exciting cities in the world, Washington, D.C. Not only that, but we're going to introduce you to a group of people who are dedicated to bringing you the history, the myths, and the stories about your nation's capital. So enjoy Old Town Trolley Tours, the nation's storytellers.
Here in Washington, there's so much to see and do. One of the things I always encourage our guests to do is figure out the locations that are most important to them. There's so much. I think the Capitol is certainly a place that is photographed. The Washington Monument might be the most iconic structure anywhere in the world. It's something that people know. The Lincoln Memorial is also another beloved memorial, one of our best known. And I think a lot of times it comes down to what a person's interest is. The White House, an important building, I think it also gets photographed as much as any of the other buildings or structures here. A lot of folks come to the city to see the cherry blossoms, and of course it brings all of the local folks down to the tidal basin area to take in the trees. So it does create some gridlock, but it's a very special time, and it usually only lasts about a week. One of the things I love about my job is that I get to meet people from all around the world, all around the country. People travel great distances to come and explore our nation's capital. I'm biased, but I think it's one of the prettiest cities in the world. It's certainly one of the most important, and I grew up just north of the city, spent most of my life here. But I get to see it through new eyes every day. People seeing it for the first time, people seeing it for the first time in many years. I've developed a whole new appreciation for my city. And I generally like people, and I like sharing such a magnificent city with them.
We have 20 stops throughout DC, and a guest can create their own itinerary and get on and off as they wish and stay as long as they wish, knowing a trolley comes by every 30 minutes approximately. And so with that, there's no schedule or no rush or no means of having to be herded along. It's that you go at your leisure and you create your interest in what you want to do through the tour, and enjoy your day as you created it. Our drivers are licensed tour guides, so it's live and interactive. Each driver has a certain element and they enjoy, and the tour comes out live and passionate about what that particular conductor really enjoys about DC. What I feel that Old Town Trolley here in DC makes us so special and important is that we become part of the experience of a guest when they come here. We give them the historical elements as they're cruising by the Capitol or the National Cathedral, or even just a statue sitting in front of the White House. And then as they get off, they have the comfort knowing that we're there for them, that when we come back again, we'll take them to the next point of what they want to do and what they want to experience. So we create the experience for them so that when they're here and they go home, they say, I had the most amazing trip in Washington, D.C. I got on this trolley and they really made my day.
One of my favorite guests was a guest from Puerto Rico. She brought her son here to DC to have eye surgery. He was going blind, and she wanted him to see the nation's capital before he had the surgery, just in case something went wrong and he would go fully blind. But that way he saw the Capitol, he saw the White House in person. And you find these stories throughout. I want them to bring back a memory. That's what we do. We make memories. We're the nation's storyteller. That's what we do.
So the biggest things in my tour are, I start out just by letting them look at these buildings and not overwhelming them. I let them take a moment to say, wow, I'm right in front of the Supreme Court, I'm looking at it. And then things like, this side of the Capitol is where Reagan, Bush, Clinton, Bush, and Obama were inaugurated, and most of the other presidents were sworn in on the other side. So that's something that they're familiar with. And they can go back later on YouTube and say, oh, wait a minute, I was there, and wait a minute, I was here. And people sort of feel like they're a part of things because they have a rapport with me because I talk to them face to face at the stops, and it's interactive, and they're teasing me and joking with me, and we're having fun, and yet they're hearing this story as they look at the very place it happened where I almost got to touch history. The biggest thing that excites me, honestly, is people's response to it. Because if I drove around by myself all night, I would get bored. But going back to when I used to do day tours a little bit, this is something that has never failed to excite me a little bit. We'd have a soundbite of Martin Luther King Jr. delivering a little bit of his I Have a Dream speech. And we used to play that. I think we're still doing the day tours as you're pulling out or into the Lincoln Memorial. And both times, a couple of years apart, I glanced up in the rearview mirror, and you can see all the people, and I would see an older lady whisper the words, I was there. My name is Jason Klein with the Old Town Trolley Tours of Historic Tours of America, and we are the nation's storyteller.
You're going to find out why you came to Washington with Old Town Trolley Tours of Washington. You're going to be treated well. It's a great ethic that we have about what we expect our guests to experience and walk away and be surprised at the level of care and concern and desire that our guests have a great tour experience, whether from a content point of view or from a safety point of view. We're all reading to improve the content of our tours, and we're all participating in a fine-tuning of safety awareness. My hope is that everyone that comes to Washington experiences that level of message quality, the content, and I have to say these days the quality of our safety environment as well.
The personality of this company is strictly hospitality and service. Servicing the guests, servicing those people who want to enjoy whichever city they so choose or happen to be riding with us in. to make sure that their experience is top-notch and excellent experience. Because what we do is different in the fact that we care about what they experience and what they're going to take home with them. We want them to share their good experiences with their family members, with the person at the grocery store, through their local community meetings. And that way, when they share the good experiences, when other folks or their friends arrive in Washington, D.C., the first thing that they're going to do is look for the orange and green trolleys. I can tell any potential guest that if they are looking to experience all that Washington, D.C. has to offer, to ride the Old Town Trolley Tours. We bring history alive. We make learning fun. We consider ourselves to be transportainment. That means we're going to transport you around the city, and then we're also going to entertain you and give you the golden little nuggets and the treasures that are deposited all throughout Washington, D.C. And you won't get that anywhere else, only on the Old Town Trolley Tours. We are truly the nation's storyteller. Yes.
We already provide a top-notch tour, without a doubt. All of the websites show it, our comment cards show it. We give a superb tour. The knowledge of the conductors, the history, all of these facts and dates and names and everything that's crammed into their heads. It's amazing some of the things that they're able to tell our guests on the tours. If you want an experience that is like nothing else in Washington, D.C., you take this tour. We are better. Our employees are better. And everybody here genuinely cares about the guest experience and making that the most memorable experience they will ever have on any vacation ever. And we guarantee it. We truly are the nation's storytellers.